a good right hand from Cameron. They call one back from Whittaker. Good response.
Yeah, just consistent, steady pressure from Cameron. That's what it'll be, just trying to get a little bit closer, round by round, and trying to keep Whittaker working harder than he wants to, hoping to catch up with him.
One thing for Cameron. Oh, that's a great right hand!
He's there from Whittaker, and he's rocked here. Cameron is in big trouble here. The referee is having a close look. His legs are not steady. He's sitting down on the ropes. And Cameron has been stopped here. Buster has jumped in. Oh! Fury! He's down! The corner knocked out! For the 8th time in his career!
6.
He doesn't look right!
8.
Will he be saved by the bell?
Let me start by saying this has nothing to do with whether Ben Whittaker is in the wrong or in the right. And this has nothing to do with his performance. In fact, it has nothing to do with Ben personally. He did what he had to do and got the decision. Ben is a good boxer, but it's what is happening around him and whether he knows what is actually happening or happening. And if it carries on, it will damage his reputation. But I personally think his reputation is already damaged. The rematch didn't go as expected, and here is why boxing is losing its credibility. Let's talk about the rematch between Ben Whittaker and Liam Cameron. It wasn't what we all hoped for, and that's exactly why I've slowed down on making as many boxing videos lately. What's the point of doing breakdowns and predictions when we keep seeing fights like this, where the integrity of the sport is called into question? Let me explain why I believe boxing is losing its credibility and why fans like you and me are getting tired of these scandalous matchups and dodgy decisions that leaves us feeling like we've been conned out of money. Let's start with the first fight. In their initial meeting, Whittaker was clearly struggling and he was gassing out, and Cameron was starting to get the upper hand. But then out of nowhere, in the 5th round, Whittaker managed to pull a stunt that saves him from certain defeat. He literally pulls Cameron out of the ring, and somehow that results in a controversial draw. Now, this wasn't just a slip up or a mistake. This was a blatantly calculated move, something to disrupt the flow of the fight and avoid losing. What's worse, no one ever really came forward to explain why that happened and how it was allowed to happen. The whole thing was swept under the rug, and fans were left questioning what the hell went down. And then we waited. Time passed until April 19th, 2025, when the two men finally faced off again. But what did we get this time? Another controversial ending. In the 2nd round, Whittaker lands a shot that wobbles Cameron, and as Cameron gets himself to the ropes, protecting himself, showing that he's still aware of the situation, the referee steps in and stops the fight, just like that. Where was the count? Why didn't Cameron got a chance to recover? In a similar situation when Usyk nearly knocks Fury down, the ref gave Fury the chance to get his bearings. He even got a bit extra time. But in this case, nothing. The referee steps in, and just like that, it's over. Here is the problem. It felt like the referee was waiting for that exact moment to end the fight in Whittaker's favor. The way the whole thing went down at the stench of a fix. Now, let's break this down with some tactical detail. When Whittaker landed that shot, it wobbled Cameron. It was a clean, straight right hand to the head. A shot that wasn't just about power, but precision. Whittaker had been moving with a good footwork, circling Cameron, keeping his range. But the right hand came out of nowhere. It was a classic example of how Whittaker can close the distance quickly and exploit any slight mistake from his opponent. When Cameron went to the ropes, it looked like he was trying to regain his composure, using the ropes to stay on his feet and block Whittaker's follow-up shots. Cameron's defense was solid. His guard was up and was still eyeing Whittaker. He wasn't out of it. He was still in the fight, just in a bad spot. But what happened next? The ref just steps in and called it. No count, no warning, nothing. And that's the part that gets to me. Cameron deserved the count, a chance to show whether he could continue. And I'm not just talking about boxing etiquette here. This is about fairness. If you're going to stop a fight, you have to do it for a reason. And Cameron had the right to show he could fight back. Now, why didn't ref give him that opportunity? That's the big question. And look, we can talk about how Cameron wasn't exactly lightning fast with his movement. Yes, he was a slow starter, and we know that from his style. He wants to break it down slowly, but it wasn't out. He wasn't defenseless. He was still there, still moving, still trying to defend himself. The referee should have allowed him the chance to recover, just like we've seen in countless fights before. The ref instead chose to protect Whittaker's record and possibly protect big paydays down the line. And this is where it gets dangerous for the sport. When fans see these types of decisions, it shatters trust in the entire system. It's no wonder boxing is losing its credibility. And here is the reality. I predicted Whittaker would win this fight weeks ago. That's why I didn't even bother doing a breakdown or prediction video, because I saw the writing on the wall. This wasn't a contest. It was always going to be Whittaker's win. And here is the kicker. This entire saga, both fights, has been the disservice to the sport. The promoters, the ref, and even Whittaker's team should be ashamed of themselves. We're talking about a fight that wasn't just about two fighters going at it. This was about controlling the narrative, manipulating the outcome, and getting the desired result for a cash grab. This isn't boxing, this is a sham. And it's exactly why boxing is in the state it is right now. It's why people are turning out and choosing to watch other sports instead. And if you're wondering why this kind of stuff keeps happening, look no further than Tony Alashik's decision to bring Dana White in to run his new boxing empire, the Ring magazine. If you're wondering why I've been less active in the boxing content space, this is why. When you have promoters and officials rigging the game, you're not just taking away the integrity of the sport. You're taking away the fans' trust, and trust is the one thing you can't get back once it's gone. In conclusion, boxing needs a serious overhaul. We need the transparency, fair officiating, and most of all, fights that actually mean something. Otherwise, we're just here for the spectacle, and that's not the kind of sport I want to watch.